Hello, my name is Ellison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast, How Can We Stick Up for Ourselves and Still Find Peace? And so how can we be in the world? Advocate for ourselves and the causes that we care about, be close to people, but create balance in the relationship and not let people take advantage of us? How can we achieve all of this and still have a peaceful inner life? The first thing we have to look at, even if we feel we're being taken advantage of, even if we don't like what's happening, sometimes the things that are happening around us are out of our control. So even if something is important, if it's out of our control, are we going to give our peace away? When we can accept something, peace does come to us. We might be able to change it the next day, but sometimes in the moment there is nothing to do. You could be working for a company that you can't change the direction they're going in. You could have a friend and their personality is a certain way, or a spouse or a partner, and who they choose to be, there's nothing that we can say to change that. And it might be painful and it might be hurtful, but through that acceptance, peace comes your way. Even if there's sadness, even if there's grief, you're not fighting what is. And then what is the peace in our control? And we start thinking about that, we have to look at what is our unmet need in this situation. Sometimes we get so immersed in someone else's bad behavior or something that we don't like, that all our emotionality and all our strength goes to that, and we don't bother to look at ourselves and say, what is my true unmet need here? Do I really need to right this wrong, or do I need to leave the situation, or what do I need to say to satisfy that need I have? And that need could be justice, that need could be a raise, that need could be about your role, that need could tell a friend, when you say these things to me, I find it hurtful and I don't know how to move forward with the friendship. Whatever that need is, when you express it, you again return to peace. We lose our peace because we think we have control of things that we don't, and we lose our peace when we don't express who we are and we don't express our needs. And the third piece is, sometimes I like to look at the unmet need of the other. If I'm at work and I'm having a difficult time with an employee, they might not be doing the work that I need, but what do they need? Sometimes people need things to be different for them to flourish. Sometimes they need more support. Sometimes they need more explanation. Sometimes they need more money. Whatever their need is, if we could understand the other's need, it might be unreasonable. We might not be able to meet it. But I find the awareness of both persons' needs really brings us peace. It gives us peace because there was clarity. Either I can do this or I can't. It's like you land the plane. Looking at what the other needs too is a part of advocating for ourselves. And the fourth thing is meaning. I find that if I have meaning in my life, if I'm advocating for it, whether it's a relationship or something at work or a cause I care about, I feel more peaceful inside. There's a peace that comes from our true alignment within, understanding who we are, and not just our unmet needs, but our passions. Every day when we wake up, is our life just filled with obligations, with things we feel we need to do? Or are we also connecting with our heart and our passions? And yes, we have mortgages to pay. Yes, we have children. Yes, life costs things. But also, things cost our soul. And so we have to find a way to nurture that as well. There has to be some meaning involved that pushes us forward every day. There's a piece to meaning. When I do something and it has meaning in my heart, I am aligned. I am one. I am not in conflict with myself. And we don't see that a lot. We don't realize that. We think it's always the outside world that's causing us pain, but it's our inner conflict. When we go against ourselves, when we go against who we are, when we don't believe in ourselves, when we put ourselves down in any way, that is what steals our peace. So if you wake up in the morning and you align with yourself, you don't put yourself down, you back yourself up, you connect with your heart, you connect with what's meaningful, there will be more peace throughout the day. Even if you go to a job every day and the meaning is you could support your family, let that meaning push you forward. And as you push that meaning forward, you will have more peace. And when you have more peace, you'll have more clarity. when you have more clarity, you'll have more ability to make the changes in your life. You'll be able to support yourself because every day you're not falling off into negativity. You're not falling off into inner conflict. You're coming from a place of wholeness, a place of peace. And at the same time, you're advocating for your life. And the fifth thing, and maybe one of the most important things, is if we're not afraid of uncertainty and we're not afraid of the unknown, we're going to be able to stand up for ourselves and not be afraid of the future. And it's one of the biggest things in our lives. When I work with people, if they are afraid of uncertainty, they don't move forward with the thing they really want because certainty is more important. And there is no certainty. We think if we stay at the same job for 30 years, we'll have certainty. We think if we stay in the marriage, we'll have certainty. And take it from me, I thought I was staying in the marriage. I was married for a very long time. And there was no certainty because one day he picked up and left. I've worked with people who had that job that they thought they were going to have when they retired, and they got fired 7 years earlier. And they didn't bother to look at their skills, whether or not they were happy, whether they had to stay at that job. I've seen people invest in things for safety only to find that there is no safety and life doesn't look exactly how they want it to be. But if you believe that the unknown is your best friend, that there's an unlimited field, and every day you are not afraid of what the future could bring because you know in that future exists your goals and your passions and your dreams. Every day you will walk this earth with more peace because you will not be afraid of what you see today because you know it can change. You know it could get better. You know you could still pursue your goals and your dreams and achieve them. You will advocate for yourself without the fear of tomorrow. You will advocate for yourself knowing that what you're advocating for is possible. And that brings a peace not to be afraid of the future. To know that in that unlimited field, the things you want exist. To know that life keeps changing brings you an inner peace. And you know I use the tool of maybe to get there. I ask myself my biggest fear. What is your biggest fear? I'm afraid I cannot achieve what I want at this job. What's your biggest fear? I'm afraid I'll never fall in love. What's your biggest fear? I'm afraid that if I tell my friend the truth of how I feel, they will not speak to me again. And then you ask yourself, am I absolutely certain my fears are true? And the beauty of life is you cannot be certain of anything, including of what you're afraid of. And then you embrace maybe, starts with maybe statements. Maybe everything will be okay. Maybe I could still achieve this. Maybe I have to be patient. And you remind yourself that in the future, other things can happen than your greatest fear. And then as you start to live in, maybe you start to breathe it in. You start to become it. When I go deep into maybe, my being becomes maybe. Every part of me, the energy I feel, the way my heart beats, everything is embracing that idea that there's an unlimited field of possibilities for me in every decision I make. And when I live that way, I am peaceful because I know everything is possible. And when I live that way, when it is my being, I am not afraid to advocate. And the same goes for you. If you embrace uncertainty and you embrace maybe, you will advocate for yourself in every part of your life without fear. And when you don't have fear and you feel you're aligned, you land in peace. So to wrap it up, we look what's out of our control and we don't stay focused on that. We accept it. We look for what's in our control. We see how we feel about it. We see what can be done. We ask ourselves what our unmet needs are, our truth of what we need. Not what our ego needs, not what someone else needs. What is our unmet need that would satisfy us, that we could advocate and still feel peaceful? And look at other people's unmet needs. And we will find that our relationships will become more peaceful. We will be more effective as we negotiate, and we'll be seeing the world from a different vantage point. The fourth piece is meaning. What is aligned so we don't walk around in conflict with ourselves? We rise up, we think more of ourselves, and we're honest about what we need in the world and what we want to do. And the fifth, again, is uncertainty. We embrace it. We know it's our best friend. If we want our lives to change, that is where it's going to change. And we try to embrace the being of maybe without feeling like the world is draining you because you stand in a different place. You will live a life that represents the truest part of yourself. And for all you know, maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe, A Year Without Men, Maybe Everything's Okay, A Parent's Guide to Less Stress and Worry, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. If you'd like to buy my Maybe cards or my Maybe digital journal, they're available on Amazon and Etsy. And most of all, if you like this podcast, I hope you subscribe and leave a comment.